Welcome to T-Level Training, getting ready to assess media, broadcast and production. My name is Pete Wardle and I am the lead moderator for the Occupational Specialism in Content Creation and Production. Today's training will provide an introduction to Task 4. This will cover the structure of Task 4, understanding the activities, understanding the assessment focuses, understanding how to apply the mark scheme. We will also provide some top tips for delivery and assessment. In today's training, we will be referring to the specification and to the sample assessment materials. Students will need to refer to the client brief booklet. All tasks are based around the scenario outlined in the client brief booklet, and students must refer to this when completing this task. This is discussed in the T-Level training module, Getting Ready to Assess Media, Broadcast and Production, Content Creation and Production, Introduction to Assessment. The client brief booklet includes essential information relevant to this task. Structure of Task 4. Task 4 consists of two activities. Activity 1 is not directly assessed, but involves recording, generating and capturing assets. The processes used to do this will be documented in Activity 2. Students should be given an unsupervised period of preparation time to undertake recording, generating or capturing of assets. Centres should schedule this activity as part of the 10-week assessment period. A period of 50 hours over 2 weeks is suggested for this activity. Activity 2 is a production log worth 36 marks. Activity 2 will be completed during a 3-hour supervised period. This may be after Activity 1 or split over more than one session, with some sessions taking place during the period that students are working on Activity 1. But work must be kept securely during any breaks taken. During the activities, students will need to access to the client brief booklet, a copy of their proposal from Task 1 and editable copies of their planning documentation from Task 3. A computer with word processing and spreadsheet software. Internet access is not permitted for Activity 2. Understanding the activity. During Activity 1, students must record, capture or generate all necessary moving image, audio, written word or still image assets needed to produce the proposed content. They must set up all necessary equipment and undertake all recording or image capture activities unaided, but may enlist others as contributors, extras or as boom operators. A teacher must observe each student while managing the production activities during a part of this time and complete a form to confirm to Pearson that they are undertaking these activities unaided. During this period, students should review the assets created on an ongoing basis and undertake any re-recording or additional capture activities as required, and these will be made available to students in Task 5. During this time, students may also source any additional third-party assets that are required and update a copy of the third-party asset list. Students may also produce up to 4 slides of A4 notes to record information relating to the key processes undertaken and the key logistical, creative and technical decisions made. Notes may be digitally typed in a minimum 10-point font or handwritten and digitally scanned. Notes should be short, bullet point style information and must not contain long narrative pieces of text. Students may also take photographs to include in the production log, but these must only be of equipment setups or of production activities undertaken. The notes, photographs and assets must be checked by a teacher to ensure that they only include the information permitted and be retained in case these are requested by Pearson. These should be made available to students when completing Activity 2. Activity 2 is worth 36 marks. Students must use their notes to write up a production log in relation to the recording and capture activity of the assets. This should include photographs of key production processes and screen grabs to illustrate updates to documentation. The production log must provide details of the processes used to record and capture assets. This is worth 9 marks. How students manage the production stage, including management of resources, locations and contributors, and ensured that the requirements of the client brief were met. This is worth 9 marks. The reasons for any logistical decisions made during production, including any updates that were made to any of the planning paperwork as a result of production activity. This is worth 9 marks. The reasons for technical and creative decisions made during production. This is worth 9 marks. Understanding the assessment. The production log will provide the evidence for Activity 2. The record of the observation visit by a teacher must not be used to support the evidence in the production log for each assessment focus. This visit is only to confirm that each student worked individually and unaided. Assessment should focus on the content of the production log rather than the way it is written. Activity 2 has 4 assessment focuses. The first assessment focus relates to the setup and use of equipment and technical recording and capture skills. The production log should provide details of how students have set up and used equipment and used technical recording and capture skills, for example, the use of camera settings to achieve a specific outcome or effect. The second assessment focus relates to the management of production. The production log should provide details of how students have effectively managed production activities. Specific examples should be given, which may include management of resources, locations and contributors, and updating planning paperwork as a result of production activity. The third assessment focus relates to logistical decision making. The production log should provide the reasoning behind logistical decisions during the production stage. For example, the order of filming, ensuring welfare of personnel, and security of equipment. The final assessment focus relates to the creative and technical decision making. The production log should provide the reasoning behind creative and technical decisions during the production stage. For example, camera settings to create effects, microphones used to minimize unwanted noise. Understanding how to. The training module relating to Task 1 includes an introduction to assessing student work using a numerical mark scheme and awarding marks for each assessment focus using the mark bands. Here are some key reminders. Students will be placed in the band that best describes their response. Marks will be awarded at the top of that band if the student has evidenced each of the descriptor traits securely. Where responses display characteristics from more than one band, markers should take a best fit approach to determining the mark by using any additional guidance and their professional judgment to decide which band is most appropriate. The trait descriptors have been highlighted in the mark scheme shown. The top band requirements may include the use of terms comprehensive and fully, as in the second assessment focus relating to the management of production. In written work, this should not be taken to mean that students must provide coverage of every possible element of relevant information within the response, but rather that the response extensively addresses a broad range of appropriate information relating to the requirements of the assessment focus. You may also notice that the lower band, the assessment focus, refers to resources, locations, and/or contributors. Students awarded in this band may not be expected to include reference to management of all three of these categories. For example, they may refer only to managing contributors. For higher bands, the expectation would be that students are likely to refer to the management of all three of these categories, but assessors should still be aware that a best fit approach may be needed to award the correct mark. In some cases, work will have qualities of different aspects of the grade descriptors in different bands. For example, in the assessment focus relating to logistical decision making, students must refer to both logistical decision making and updating of planning documentation. If students have, for example, provided evidence of highly effective decision making, but no reference to updating planning documentation, then a best fit mark must be applied. This mark should be based on the qualities of the work and balance all the considerations of the relevant band descriptors. In this case, a mark of 5 or 6 marks in band 2 may be appropriate. If students have provided evidence of reviewing planning documentation and effective explanation of why no updating was required, this should not prevent them from being awarded top marks. Lead moderators' top tips. Students should allow sufficient time to complete production activities for both pieces of content and to review and reshoot, re-record assets if needed. Production logs should include specific examples of how students have managed resources, locations, and contributors, and creative, technical, and logistical decisions made. Production logs should include photographs to support points made. Students must review planning documentation regularly, and the production log should discuss any updates as a result of production activity or provide justification for why no updates were required. The slide now on screen provides the key methods of contacting Pearson if further support is required. Eight training modules are available to support the occupational specialism in content creation and production, including an introduction and separate modules relating to tasks 1 to 7. Other resources you may find useful include a delivery guide, a scheme of work, and guide standard exemplification materials, which include commentaries on student work at pass and distinction grades. These are available on the Pearson website. Information about current training opportunities can also be found on the Pearson website. Thank you for completing today's training session on the T-Level Media Broadcast and Production, Occupational Specialism in Content Creation and Production.